All the nations out there undertake mega projects to generate employment for the people and also consider these a cornerstone for the development of countries. But these mega projects may not be able to give desired dividends to the states. In such cases, huge investments end up getting wasted, whereas these resources could have been utilized to produce much better results. There can be several reasons which lead to the failure of certain mega projects, including natural calamities. For instance, there's actually a capital city built for millions of people, but it has almost no population, and a $17 billion project constructed by the US government remains unused. Today, we'll show you the most useless mega projects in the world. But before we begin, make sure you've subscribed to our channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. Interstate H3, Hawaii. A 26-kilometer-long Interstate Highway H3 passes through the scenic view of Aloha State, Hawaii. The natural beauty of the area is stunning. Despite its beauty, the highway is equally controversial. Based on defense requirements, initially its construction was proposed in 1960 for connecting the Pearl Harbor Naval Base located on the southern side with Marine Corps Air Station located on the eastern coast. It was vehemently opposed by the natives of Hawaii and the environment protection groups. They feared massive urbanization following the construction of the project. The project remained delayed due to environmental laws in vogue and efforts to change the route. In 1986, Congress exempted the project from environmental laws and eventually its construction commenced in 1989. After approximately 37 years following its original proposal, the highway was opened for traffic in 1997. The use of advanced technologies for the construction, very difficult terrain traverse, and numerous high-tech tunnels built en route made it one of the most exceptional engineering wonders of the world. To protect the local environment in the scenic valleys, the highway was exclusively constructed on viaducts. Its expenditure increased 5 times because of this. The construction costs skyrocketed from initial estimates of $250 million to $1.3 billion. The main reasons leading to escalation of cost included frequent route changes, decades of delay, and the use of advanced expensive technologies. Its per-kilometer cost is about $50 million, which is almost the most expensive in the world. This remains to be the most underutilized highway in USA, as the defense considerations in the 1960s are not as relevant today. It also doesn't have direct access route to downtown Honolulu. In addition, native Hawaiians resent using it even today, as they believe it to be a cursed route due to the demolition of numerous religious and culturally important sites. Despite being an engineering marvel and a mega project, H3 remains a very scarcely used road. Ciudad Real Central Airport, Spain. Spain is one of the most visited destinations in Europe. Accordingly, Ciudad Real Central Airport was conceived to handle increasing tourism and also to reduce pressure on Madrid International Airport. It was considered to be a go-to destination for holiday travelers within the country and foreign tourists. The airport had one of the top 5 longest runways in Europe with an ability to handle 2 million passengers annually, although it is much lower compared to the 70 million passengers per year of Madrid International Airport. Expansion plans to enhance its capacity to 10 million passengers were already in progress. It was made operational in 2009 with an expenditure of $1.3 billion. All plans met failure when the company behind the project filed for bankruptcy in 2012. It's located about 200 kilometers away from the capital Madrid and was not close to any population center. The problem was compounded as most of the passengers preferred to fly from Madrid, as it required traveling for hours to get to this lonely airport, and a majority of airlines prefer to carry out their flight operations from Madrid. By 2012, the scarcely used airport accumulated debts worth $350 million. Eventually it went for receivership, and in 2013 it was put up for auction. In 2014, the famous British TV show Top Gear popularized it as an abandoned location. Multiple auctions were held, including an outrageous offer of $10,000. Finally, it was sold in 2019. Consequently, the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic provided Ciudad Real Central Airport with a lifeline, as the new owners offered it as a home for grounded aeroplanes, as its spacious long runways and dry climate proved to be most suitable for the purpose. By August 2020, the airport had 65 aeroplanes parked there and expansion plans in progress to provide a storage capacity of about 300. Although for the time being, its storage facilities provided it with a rare opportunity, eventually on termination of the pandemic the stored planes would fly away, whereas routine flight operation remains elusive. Therefore, this billion-dollar project has remained useless for passengers around the world. Naypyidaw, Myanmar. An important mega-project undertaken by a developing Asian country, Myanmar, made it on the list of Top Gear. It's an airport and the new capital of the country built by its former military leadership. In 2002, construction of this capital commenced in complete secrecy. Myanmar's military leader announced the shifting of capital to the new location in 2005, but its name was kept secret. However, 4 months later he made the name public, Naypyidaw meaning the king's residence. Shifting of capital to a central location inside the mainland made sense as the previous capital was built by the British for benefiting the Royal Navy. Construction of the new capital has been pursued vigorously, and until now, successive governments have expended approximately $4 billion. Naypyidaw has the elaborate infrastructure to attract tourists, which includes a 20-lane highway, more than 100 luxury hotels located in 3 hotel districts, museums, golf courses, and a 99-meter-high replica of a landmark originally situated in Yangon. Despite all this, the city is devoid of the population, as so far it is home to less than 1 million people who mostly inhabit the suburbs that existed even before the commencement of construction work for the new capital. People are reluctant to adopt the new metropolis as their home due to scarcity of health facilities, shortage of good educational institutions, and most importantly, lack of economic opportunities. It presents a deserted look and is most often referred to as a ghost town. Its 20-lane highway sees no traffic, whereas its airport, with a capacity to handle 3.5 million passengers annually, has hardly a few people using it on a busy day. Similarly, shopping malls see only diplomatic staff on weekends and hotels remain devoid of guests. Although presently it does not hold attraction for much of the country's population, we can see a silver lining. The capital was built as the city of the future, and the population explosion may take some considerable time. But when this happens, Naypyidaw might be the city people will turn to for relocation. Forest City, Malaysia. Malaysia plans to raise a green iconic city on reclaimed land on 4 artificially built islands around an artificial forest ecosystem. Its location in the proximity of the advanced independent city-state of Singapore offers an incredible attraction to investors. Singapore possesses the second busiest port in the world with a thriving economy. Already, the forest city has been connected with Singapore via Second Link Bridge, which has reduced the travelling distance between both cities just to 20 minutes. Exclusive custom facilities have been planned at the forest city for providing hurdle-free movement to the residents. The design incorporates several green innovations like buildings with green rooftops and vertical gardens, presenting a jungle experience. City streets have a multi-layered design with a lower layer dedicated to traffic and parking spaces, whereas the upper layer has theme parks, sports facilities and transport hubs. Forest City will be provided with clean renewable energy and is planned to be completed by 2035. Its cost is estimated to be $100 billion. The first of the proposed 4 islands is near completion. It has 50 apartment buildings, swimming pools, golf courses and beaches on board. This thematic city is confronting a multitude of hurdles, including economic as well as political ones. The project being funded by China resulted in almost free passage to the city for Chinese residents during the initial few years of its construction that led to the rush of wealthy Chinese citizens who could not match the soaring prices of apartments in their native country. By the end of 2019, almost 80% of property owners in the forest city were Chinese. Its street signs had signs in Mandarin and few schools operating the city offered courses in Mandarin. The exorbitant property prices set in the backdrop of Chinese investors has made it totally out of the buying power of native Malaysians that has created a public outcry, and its ardent opponents terming it to be a new form of colonialism. On taking over the premiership, Mahathir Mohamad banned ownership of property by the foreigners. Resultantly, foreigners began to leave the city, whereas the new investors were also discouraged. Worldwide travel bans in the wake of the pandemic also caused a setback to the city economy. Due to looming uncertainty, less than 500 persons actually lived in the city by 2020, whereas the city is designed for over 700,000 people. Woes for the city are continuing as over 1,000 Malaysian workers were laid off during the pandemic. It seems to be too ambitious too futuristic, and immensely politically challenged, and these factors in turn diminish its chances of early success. Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository. The sensitive issue of nuclear waste led to the creation of a mega-project that has become useless. Nuclear waste, if not properly stored, can prove to be disastrous for humanity. Presently, nuclear waste is stored in the proximity of the nuclear plant producing it. However, scientists agree that the safest method to store this waste is to store it in an underground facility. Accordingly, in the 1980s, the US authorities started to find a permanent solution for this problem. In 1987, they identified Yucca Mountain in Nevada as the best possible option, keeping in view its proximity in the USA's most frequently used nuclear testing site and being away from any population center. Nuclear waste from all over the country was to be deposited in a tunnel complex approximately 300 meters under the mountain. Yucca Mountain can absorb any radioactive material without crumbling or cracking, as it's made of volcanic ash formed supposedly millions of years ago. Despite being an ideal site for waste management on paper, it didn't go well with the Nevadans. Out of numerous nuclear reactor sites found in 34 states, none of these were located in Nevada. The general public and congressional representatives from Nevada vehemently opposed the use of only nuclear waste dumping site in the country. The authenticity of geological and hydrological surveys of Yucca Mountain was also challenged, as the proposed repository could contaminate the nearby water source, which flows in Amargosa Valley and is used by the Native Americans living in the area for hundreds of years. However, the project was approved in 2002 and construction was started by the Department of Energy. Continued opposition by the Nevadans made the project highly politicized. In 2010, the Obama administration considered the project to be unworkable and therefore stopped its funding. In 2013, a federal court ordered to resume work on the project, but little progress has been made so far. Nevada seems to have won the ecological battle, as the Biden administration has also dropped the project. So far, $17 billion have been expended on the Yucca Mountain project, but it remains a useless mega project. Which one of these you think can be salvaged? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and visit our channel for similar content. We'll be back soon with another mind-boggling story. Until then, have a great time. Goodbye.